guys, it's just Richard here from cybergamer.com.au. What we've got tonight is Kingston sent across a SSD hard drive. This one's the SSDNOW V100 series. It's a 128GB drive. Now the beauty of an SSD drive is there is no moving parts. Now the beauty of having no moving parts is they're not as susceptible to shock damage as your normal hard drive. Now one of the other great features about these hard drives, they are insanely fast. This particular drive has a 250 megabyte a second read speed and a write speed of 230 megabytes a second, which is at least 5 times faster than your standard everyday desktop SATA hard drives. Now what we're going to do with this is one of the great applications of these drives is if you have a laptop. Laptops are synonymous for poor performance because they have a spinning disk hard drive. And one of the great things about SSD is it's not a spinning disk and it's incredibly fast. So what I'll do tonight is we'll do a bit of a demonstration on just how easy it is to switch from a standard hard drive. In this scenario we're going to use a laptop. How easy it is to switch from a standard hard drive to one of these Kingston SSD drives. Now this drive's the same size as a laptop hard drive, so it will interchange straight into your laptop without any brackets or anything like that. Just the same bracket that goes into your laptop will work with this hard drive. So what we'll do is we'll pop the camera off, we'll switch to another view and let's get started, and I'll show you how easy it is to switch from a standard hard drive to a Kingston SSD. Okay guys, so we're back again. Now what we'll do now is I'll just actually turn the laptop on. We've got a Dell Inspiron 1501 laptop. It's only an AMD Sempron. It's a relatively oldish laptop. It's got a standard SATA hard drive in it at the moment. So what we'll do is, we'll just have a look at how it starts up, how long it takes. So we've just got a bit of a benchmark on how well our SSD drive is going once it's been plugged in. Now what we're going to do now to transfer over to an SSD hard drive, you need somewhere to copy it to, because obviously an SSD drive's great, but your laptop doesn't have 2 hard drive ports in it. Some do, but most of them don't, so you're going to have to use another medium to get that data between the 2 drives. So we'll just use a generic USB hard drive. I've stolen that from the office as backup, so that's wonderful. So it's just an external USB hard drive. Now not all of the SSD drives come with this, but you can use Norton Ghost, a Cronus True Image, which is what this CD has. This CD here, it's comes with some of the SSDNOW hard drives. It's obviously produced by Kingston, but it actually does have a Cronus True Image on it, which is a really good tool for transferring and imaging computers. So, okay, so look, our laptop's booted up, so we'll just log her in here. Okay, so we'll take our SSD drive out of its packaging here. So what we're going to do is, there's the drive itself, it's in a solid metal casing, you can see there. It is the same size as a laptop hard drive. It's, they're very small, they're not a very big drive. Like I said, there's no moving parts in them. So yeah, they're very good for shock damage. So, with you, especially, like I said, it's really good with the laptops. If you knock your laptop off the desk, it's a bit of a 50-50 that your hard drive's going to die. But with one of these SSD drives, I've done it to my Alienware laptop about 6 times since I've had it already, and it just hasn't missed a beat because it's got a SSD hard drive in it. So what we'll need to do this transfer is we'll have to turn the laptop off. Obviously, the laptop is still starting up here. You can see all the icons starting to show. So what we need to do is we'll turn the laptop off, we'll put the CD in, we'll connect the USB hard drive, and it's always a good idea if you want to do an image to a USB hard drive to turn the laptop off and then plug your hard drive in. And the same thing works with desktop computers as well. You always get better detection with the program if the hard drive's already in the computer. My laptop here is still starting up. It's not the greatest. Now, one of the reasons why I want to show you this is where we'll see the the difference an SSD hard drive makes. This is Windows XP as well. Windows XP is not optimized for SSD hard drives. So if you switch to Windows 7, you'll see even more performance. But I think this is a really good way just to say, hey, look at just the pure performance increases you'll get from the SSD. And the key thing with the SSD you'll notice is load times with absolutely everything. You load into Windows, you log in, you hit enter, and bang, you're on the desktop. But it's not just that you're on your desktop. A normal hard drive does that too. You'll see that, you know, we can still see our desktop, but because that cursor's moving, you try and open anything and it takes forever because Windows isn't really completed loading. All your toolbar shortcuts down the bottom here, they're all still loading up. Your antivirus, your applications, your Google search tools, they're all still loading. But the beauty with the SSD drive is it's loading them so fast that literally within seconds of you getting your desktop screen and icons, you're opening programs, and these programs are opening in seconds. They're not, you know, they're not taking 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds to open. You're clicking on them and just bang, they're up on the screen. Like that's the difference that these drives make. Okay, so that's, we told Internet Explorer to open, and also we're not seeing it yet. And the hard drive's still going berserk. So, oh, here we go. Okay, so we've got our Internet Explorer open. We'll wait till it just starts loading the web page, so we're not, you know, forcing it to close before it's really open properly. Otherwise, it's kind of defeats the purpose of the test. So we'll close that again. Okay, it's not responding, so obviously it's not finished loading properly. Which is, yeah, this is why I immediately, as soon as I got my first SSD drive, I've just never gone back. I put SSD drives in everything because the performance difference, it's just remarkable how much faster they are. Even, and like I said, even for older operating systems like Windows XP, they still work with Windows XP. I'm sure they don't perform to the, you know, their peak capacity, but in the same regard, you'll see a dramatic difference just by switching to an SSD, even if it is on Windows XP. Now, it's taking so long to load, I'm going to just drop it down the bottom. If I can get my show, yeah, see, the laptop's still not responding. Ah, the joys, the joys. So yeah, so the next part of our demonstration, obviously, I'll give you a really quick tutorial on just imaging. Alright, I'll close all this. Just on imaging your laptop as well, just, you know, just a really quick and easy way to create an image of your laptop. So when you put your new drive in, you just have to restore, you know, the image back onto your new SSD drive. Okay, so Skype's now updating itself. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll cut this off here, but as you can see how slow the laptop is now, so we've got a bit of an indicator of how it runs without an SSD. It's got a standard laptop hard drive in it. So we'll cut the video off now. I'll get rid of all these programs, I'll shut it down, I'll get it ready to image. So I'll show you guys just a quick and easy way to image the drive. Now, so just remember, USB hard drive plugged in, CD-ROM in the drive, ready to go, and then fire your laptop up and boot it off the CD. So we'll be back in a moment. Okay, so we're back again. What we'll do is we'll turn on our laptop. Now, because this laptop's a Dell laptop, it'll have a F12 option to go into the boot menu. Now, every computer, every workstation's the same. Some of them you've got to go into the BIOS and tell it to boot from the CD-ROM, but the Dell one, obviously, it has a boot menu, which is very handy. So tell it to boot off the CD-ROM drive. Okay, so it's going to start up a Cronus True image. Okay, now one of the cool things it does, it goes, okay, do you want to boot to Windows? So if you've left your CD in and it's set to boot from the CD, it'll let you just go into Windows. But we want a Cronus True image. So we'll hit enter. Now that'll just load that up now. So now what we're going to do, we're not going to do a direct drive-to-drive clone. We're going to create an image file. Because obviously we've got an external USB hard drive plugged in. Now I've already done an image just to save some of the time on this video. But what I'll do is I'll step you through how to start an image off, so it'll actually create an image file for you, and then I'll show you how to switch the drives over and then put the image back onto your new drive. Okay, so we're just waiting for the Cronus to load. Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward process. Depending on how much data you've got on your computer, it usually doesn't take too long. If you've got about 20-30 gig, it should only take about 25-30 minutes to do a full image. Okay, so we've got this open. Now, I'll see if I can get this a little bit closer for you without losing the power from the laptop. Okay, so I'm not sure how well you can see these, but up the top the first option is backup. So we want that. Now it's just going to give you the backup wizard, so we're going to choose next. It says what do you want to back up. We're going to back up my computer, obviously. Click next. It'll ask you what partitions you want to back up. Now we're going to go for the C drive and the 2 utility partitions. Now Dell machines, HP machines, they usually have a utility partition. So the best way to do it is just to select them all. Now you don't want to select this 2 because that's actually your backup hard drive. So we'll just leave that unselected. Let me choose next. And it'll come up saying you've already backed up the selected disk. It won't say that for you because you haven't done it, but I have. I'm going to say okay, that's no problem. Now it's going to ask you where to put the backup file. So we're going to select our external hard drive. Now down the bottom here, I'm pretty sure you won't see that on the screen. Just ask you to put in a file name. It's just like a Windows file save dialog. It's just asking for a file name. So we'll just call it BK2. Now if you click on next, okay, create a new full backup archive. Yes, that's what we want to do. We want to create a full backup of the drive. Now, next thing it'll ask you for things like archive splitting and things like that, and compression levels. Now, we'll leave the compression level on normal. If you set it on maximum, it takes quite a while to do the backup. If you've got a sizable USB hard drive and you've got plenty of space on there to do the backup, just leave it on normal. It'll be quicker to run through. Now, the other thing it'll do as well is you can do archive splitting. Now, if you've only got USB sticks and you've got, say, 2 4GB USB sticks and your backup 6GB, you can use archive splitting, and that's what that does is it'll create a backup file till the USB stick's full. I'll say, okay, no worries, I'm out of space, pop in another one and I'll keep going. But it's always easier just to use a bigger hard drive because that way you can just do it all in one go. You don't have to switch the sticks over, because when you switch USB sticks over while you're doing a store or even a backup, it just takes a minute to detect them, and you've got to watch it a bit closely too, because you've got to be waiting for it to ask for the next one. Okay, so we're just going to do a normal compression level backup. We'll click next. Do we want to add comments? No, we don't. We'll go next. Okay, it's just going to give us a summary saying what we're doing. We're doing a backup from the C drive to our external drive, so we'll proceed. And there we go. So this will start creating the backup image. Now at this point we're actually going to cancel this because I've already done it. So that shows you what you need to do to get a drive image done with the Cronus TrueImage HD. Like I said, you can use Norton Ghost, that works fine as well. But a Cronus, one of the things I really like about the Cronus TrueImage that comes with the Kingston drives is very easy to use. Sometimes you have detection problems with USB, with Norton Ghost. I've used this on 15, 16 different types of computers and it's always picked up the USB. It's been really good. Okay, so we're going to cancel this backup. Okay, operation's been cancelled. We know. Now we're going to exit. Now I'll put our laptop back here. Now this should trigger the computer to restart, which it has. Okay, so our laptop's turned off, which is good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pop the lid closed. Now we want a bit more of a view, so I'm going to slide this back a bit. I've got my camera balanced on an Alienware laptop box because I can't find the tripod, so bear with me. Okay, now here's the back of our laptop. Now right here you'll see there's screw holes that have a little, it's just like the indicator on the front of your computer or laptop that shows a little hard drive light that flickers on and off. They usually put them beside the screw holes so you know which screws to undo to get the hard drive out. Now there's only 2 on a Dell laptop at the bottom here. I've already taken those out so we can get this a bit quicker. So what we'll do is we'll just pop the drive out, it just slides straight out. Now here's our old hard drive. Now it's got a little faceplate on it which helps it slot in properly so it fits nice and snug in the chassis. So we'll undo the screws off of the side, just like so. We'll just set the screws on the top of the plastic case so we don't lose the screws, which I'm famous for. So we'll undo the other one. Okay, so we'll set our hard drive aside. Now what we'll do is we'll grab our nice fresh new SSD drive and we'll just sit it the right way around on to the little back plane. Now, we pop our screws back on the side so it clips into the socket inside the laptop nice and squarely. So I'll just quickly screw these back on without losing our fitting on the end of the screwdriver. Okay, so we'll just pop the other screw in nice and quickly. Okay, so our second screw's back in. Our back plane is fitted to the SSD drive. Now we simply slide the drive into the laptop and that's it. We've got a new drive fitted. Now Windows will, not so much Windows, but the BIOS will automatically detect the hard drive. Now what we've got to remember, our CD drive is, has still got the Kingston CD in it with the Acronis True Image. So we want to reconnect the USB hard drive, which is on the other side, sorry. Okay, so we'll fire up our laptop again. Now what we're going to do is we're going to trigger an image back to the laptop. So we're going to take the image off the old hard drive and we're going to drop it back onto the new SSD drive. Now it's a really good way to do it because you don't need to reinstall programs, you don't need to copy your files back because it's already taken a snapshot of everything and just dumped it onto the backup file. Now I've hit F12 to go into the boot menu. Now you don't so much need to see this as you did before. So we're just going to boot from the CD drive. Now the process to restore a file is the same. So I'll bring you in a little bit closer again. And we'll swivel our laptop your way. So we want to go into a Acronis True Image. So yeah, so we're just going to copy the image file back onto the hard drive. Well, it won't copy the file on. What it'll do, it'll restore the partitions. So when you restart your computer, it'll just go, oh, I've got Windows on here, nothing's changed. It won't think anything's changed. All Windows will do will go, oh, wait a minute, I've got a smaller or a bigger hard drive, depending on how big your SSD is compared to your original drive, and it'll correct itself. So it'll just start up. Everything will be right where you left it. Your desktop wallpaper will be there, all your programs will be there. You won't have to do anything else. Okay, so it's just loading up True Image now. Now, instead of backup, we're going to choose recovery this time. Okay, so we get the restore data wizard, we go next. Select the backup archive that contains the data you want to restore. Now we'll give it a minute because what it's doing at the moment is it's going off detecting CD drives, USB drives and so on and so forth. So we're going to have to wait a minute for our USB hard drive to come up so we can select our backup file and restore it. Okay, so here's our Freecom hard drive here. Okay, so here's our backup TIB file, which is just an image we took before. So we'll go next. Restore disks or partitions, yes, that's what we want to do. But you can also, one of the cool things this one does is if you do something wrong and delete a file and you go, well, I know I did that when, sorry, I know I had that file when I first created my image. You can actually browse the image files created and restore specific files. So you can use it as a backup. I wouldn't recommend using it as a backup because obviously, you might change the file 15 times between the time you took the first image. But if you're desperate and you need to go back, your image file can be used as a backup that you can restore specific files from. So we're going to restore all the disks and partitions. Now, we're going to select the partitions. So we're going to grab the whole of disk 1, which is all the partitions. You'll see the 2 utility partitions. You'll see the master boot record. You must grab the master boot record or it's not going to boot in Windows once you finish your restore. And we'll grab the C drive. Okay, we go next. Now it's going to ask you where do you want to restore it to. We don't want to restore it to the USB drive. That's pointless. We don't want that. But what we've got here is 120 gigabyte Kingston SV100 S2. That's our SSD drive. So we're going to select that. We're going to click next. Now, oh yes, so obviously it's going to ask you whether you want to delete the partitions that are already on the hard drive. Yes, we do, because obviously we're doing a fresh image here. So we're going to tell it, yep, wipe anything off the drive that's there. We don't want to leave whatever's there. We're just going to wipe everything off the drive and take over this drive and put the image that is stored on a USB drive onto this SSD. Now it's going to ask you if you want to restore any other partitions. We don't want to do that. We've already selected all the ones we want, so we're going to say no, I do not. We're going to go next. Now you can validate the backup archive before restoration, it's always recommended, but we're not going to do it this time just for time purposes. So we're going to go next. Now login information required for connection to destination folder. We don't need that because we didn't specify that when we created the image. So we're going to go next. It's going to give us a summary of what we're trying to do, which is copy the image file from the USB hard drive and restore the partitions onto the SSD. So we want to proceed. Okay, so it's going to kick off the restore. Now it is an SSD, so it's going to restore relatively quickly because the USB read speed is not too bad on an external USB drive, and these drives have a write speed of 230 megabytes a second, which is far beyond the speed we're going to get out of this USB 1 port on an older laptop. So what we'll do is we'll just chop this video off for a moment, and once it's finished restoring, what we'll do is we'll boot the laptop up, and hopefully we should see it start off a bit faster. Some programs will start up a bit faster, and we should be rolling. So we'll be back soon. Okay guys, so we're back again. We've just completed our image onto our SSD drive. I've obviously shut the computer down, taken the CD out, disconnected the USB drive. Now what we'll do is we'll fire it up, and now what we should see is a more responsive, a quicker, obviously operating computer. Now this one, like I said, it's on Windows XP. It's not optimized for SSD drives like Windows 7 is, but what we will see is the laptop will perform better. This machine, it's been running for about 2 years, so it's got all the rubbish under the sun loaded on it, including QuickBooks, Office, Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Skype's on there, GoToAssist is on there, just about everything you can imagine is loaded on here. And as you can see, it's ready to log in right now. Like it's literally booted up that fast compared to before, and within seconds you've got your desktop display. And the beauty of the SSD drive is the computer, it's literally, well, we don't need a login script. It's pretty much responsive as soon as you turn it on. So what we'll do is we'll fire into Google Chrome, and even though the computer's still sitting there doing all of its startup routine, there's your Google Chrome, and you can't see it on the camera, but you can see those little startup items literally rocketing across the screen as the computer starts up. Whereas before, you know, you'd be literally watching them one by one. So your Internet Explorer, like, you know, the system's still starting all the startup programs, and the programs, their response times are, you know, they're just fantastic compared to before. So yeah, so even things like Microsoft Outlook, never really a fast program to open. Bang, it's up there on the screen. As fast as you click it, it's there. Now another really good one is Firefox as well, but iTunes is a really good one as well. We've got the new version of iTunes on here, the very latest version. iTunes is never a really fast program, but on an SSD drive, you click it and it'll literally it'll launch straight up, and that's really good for an older machine. Like this is a Windows XP machine running a basic AMD processor with 512 mega RAM. Like, you know, that's really good. iTunes would normally struggle on a machine like this, and it did. Like on this SATA hard drive, it's just horrible trying to get iTunes to run. But iTunes, it's responsive. It really is responsive. So you click on it, and within a few seconds it's sitting there on the screen. And it's not just sitting on the screen, it's actually ready to go. You click through different things and it jumps between them. It's not like it just kind of comes up on the screen and freezes like it normally does. If you click through things on the program as well, it responds really quite well. So yeah, it's a really good little machine. Like here's a Word document here. We'll go into Word, bang, it's on the screen. And this is not a new laptop, this is an old laptop. Now one of the cool things as well is one of the kind of funny ones that I do to see, you know, just how well a computer's really running, is when you turn it off. I know it sounds a bit strange, but a lot of computers take ages to turn off. This laptop definitely did take ages to log off. And one of the things you see that's really cool about the SSD drive is you're watching those 10 or 15 programs you've got lined up in the taskbar just zooming along as they're all closing. And as quick as you shut it down, it's off. That's it. Your laptop's done with. So guys, there's your demonstration. I just wanted to do a bit of a demo there on how easy it is to switch to an SSD drive for laptop. Obviously you'll see more about the drive in the text part of the review here, but in the meantime, enjoy. That's how easy it is to switch to an SSD drive for your laptop. Thanks for watching.